Who are the young frat boys that have gathered in the corner? Do they work
Who are the
here?
frat boys in the corner? What are your names?
I'm trying to do it a bit more subtly. Don't worry about it, lads. Welcome.
Have you been ID'd back there? Oh, here comes. Oh, is that your boys, John? Oh, those are the military dudes. Oh, underprivileged children that you found. Oh, okay, great.
I've seen underprivileged before. These look like privileged kids from Manhattan, but
Yeah.
Manhattan Island.
You guys have hair.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
underprivileged, you wouldn't have it. Okay, welcome to the podcast, Jim Jefferies. Yes.
I just don't. Now they're coming
Yeah.
over. Oh God, it's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure.
So you are on the Give Them What They Want tour. Are you, in fact, giving them what they want?
Well, it's weird. You have to every special or tour, you got to name it, and I've never rung up my reps and gone, I've got a name. It's always like, Jim, you got to name the tour, and I'm like, this. No one gives a fuck. It doesn't. I fight tooth and nail not to name things like this. I'm like, what are you fucking? Just say Jim Jefferies 2023. That's all they need to fucking know.
Yeah, Jim
And
Jefferies. He'll
and
be
then
there.
it's like, so I sometimes have a little catchphrase with me mates when I'm playing golf or something and I hit a good shot or something. I go, give them what they want.
Yeah.
Like that. And so I call it the give, but it doesn't mean anything. I want it. My last special is called High and Dry because I take weed and I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
But I wanted to call my special Hawaii because I was filming it in Canada and I thought that'd be a fun thing. Hawaii live from Canada. Now, the real reason I wanted to call it Hawaii was I have an Hawaiian shirt that I think I look good in. So I was like, that would be the shirt I'd wear, and then it would be justified. I've never worn a Hawaiian shirt on stage ever before. This particular shirt I look good in. And so, yeah, and then Netflix said I wasn't allowed to call my special Hawaii. They were adamant. They go, no, people won't like that. You have to call it. And I said, but you let Chris Rock call their special Tambourine. And they're like, just shut up, Jim. You're not calling it.
Just shut up.
They go, can't be some innocuous name that doesn't mean anything to the show, right? I go, I watched it. He said nothing about tambourines, man.
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry about it, Jim. Just change the name.
You're paying attention too much, Jim. You go, agreed. That's fine.
And they were like, our favourite title was Sticks and Stones. And I went, High and Dry. There you go. Off you go. Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your life been like since you quit drinking and started smoking? It's been.
I don't smoke it. I eat weed. It's been 2.5 years. My memory's no good anymore. I don't think the weed's good for the memory. Anyone who says it doesn't do anything to you, that's bullshit. Because I've been losing a lot of stuff around the house.
Your keys are gone.
Not even that. It's just like things that I've hidden. Like I'll put this away to keep it safe, and then I have no recollection. I never needed it, and now I have to write down like. I used to just remember my diary, like I'm going to the doctor's on Wednesday and I'm doing this on Friday, and now I got to write down everything. So that's the big difference. The alcohol, I don't miss the alcohol. I'm nicotine free for 3 months without nicotine now, and I went from smoking to vaping to Nicorette to this, and now I'm off that completely. But the weird thing is, you give up drinking, and you've done it about 17 times. You know about it, right?
Good.
You give up drinking.
No, for real.
No, you give up drinking. People throw you a fucking parade.
Yep.
Right? Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations. You're so brave. One day at a time, all this stuff.
You're
right?
on day 5, by the way.
Yeah, which is very nice.
Yes. Thank
You
you.
give up smoking, which is substantially harder than giving up drinking, and no one says shit. In fact, people are rude to you. They're like, oh, you should have done it years ago. It's a disgusting habit. And you're like, where's me fucking parade?
Why'd you even pick up in the first place? But I do find, too, like, that tobacco does, when you're getting off drinking, there's a stimulant to it, and it increases your mood just a little bit. Clearly, nicotine has a mood enhancer.
Well, see, nicotine... Yeah, but it's one of those things you take so you can feel normal again. It's like any drug. You know, the best nicotine ever. We all know the best nicotine ever. The best nicotine is that you haven't had a cigarette for 2 weeks.
Right, and you go back to it.
And then you have a cigarette. That's a hit, man. That's
you get a little buzz.
That's
still.
a junkie hit. Like you stand there, I can't focus for about 5 minutes.
Scientists are making it. Scientists are good at what they do. You know, they're putting chemicals in that nicotine. For it's.
Well, yeah, there's.
Thank you. No one's thanking the cigarette scientists. Is the point
but you give
for their hard work.
I'll tell you something about smoking. When smoking first became banned in public places, I was in my 20s, and it was the best way to meet girls.
Yeah.
I was smoking was the best
Bum a
way to meet
cigarette.
girls.
Can I?
You're in a noisy bar. They gave you this outdoor area. I was in England, so it was raining, so we're all under an awning.
Right.
We're all bunched together in an awning. All girls aren't paying for cigarettes. Can I have a cigarette? They've already got to come up to you and talk to you.
100%.
And you have a light. Smoking upped my sexual encounters, doubled them.
Right.
It's a social thing too.
Like, you
have a little
got to give it
special
up
group.
for smoking and all the sex that
Hey,
came
everyone,
in.
give it up for smoking. How many times it's gotten you laid? People aren't talking about that. The introduction.
People never give the positives.
Right. I'm not allowed to anymore.
Vaping doesn't get you laid.
Vaping makes me feel weird.
Vaping doesn't get you laid. This
Doesn't
guy's
do
not
anything.
getting laid.
No.
He's not getting fucking laid. No one comes up and asks if you got a spare vape. No
Yeah.
girl asks you for a cigarette. You're just killing yourself without the sex, mate.
Yeah, they're going to give him tuberculosis. A vape pen is anything can be in there.
Yeah, anything.
Tuberculosis.
I remember my first day at college. I went to college at North Carolina. Actually, I grew up with Gina. This is Gina, my friend from my hometown. Sheldon has produced this, but grew up in Albany. Never really left Albany. Went to Chapel Hill. Did not smoke. And then my first night there, I just wore a white shirt with a pocket and just put like a pack of marbles. Like, I got cigarettes if anyone wants one. And then just like went outside and like was gonna act like a smoke. Yes, it is a good social. And then I never really smoked cigarettes past that, but.
You don't
I
even
like to
you
roll
just need to be the guy that just hands them to women in the little area. That guy isn't dodgy at all, is it?
Not at all.
I got cigarettes. I'll just watch you.
Yeah.
Come here, little girl.
This is a,
Yeah, it's a very, very low rent Hansel and Gretel situation. There. The bloke who brings the packet of cigarettes.
so the pickup line I never used pickup lines. One time on Super Bowl, I thought of a pickup line out of nowhere. There's two girls at a bar, big wangs in NoHo, and I went up to them. I go, "Do either of you two have a piece of gum?" And they were like, "No." I go, "I do. Would you like some?" And it worked. I got their numbers.
That was
got-
your pickup line?
Uh huh.
Did you go home with both of them?
They just laughed.
Oh.
No.
Oh. They just made you laugh? Or you
It
just
made them laugh. Got a phone number too.
That's not anything.
No, but it worked. It made them laugh, and it was innocent.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
not
can-
saying put
you
it
can
in
make-
your
you can-
special.
You can make a girl laugh. That means the pickup line didn't work.
We're talking football games.
What was your other level? I normally get slapped by women. These ones just laugh. Success. If you didn't pick them up, the line didn't do anything. It was
Wait,
just a
you're talking
conversation.
you're talking one night stand. I'm talking.
You have
getting
to
phone numbers.
pick them up. It's a pickup line.
It's a pickup.
Oh, okay. Then it's not a pickup line. It's a make them laugh line.
This was just a talking to other human beings successfully line.
platonic. Very platonic.
Chase, can we edit this out of the podcast? This whole entire.
But your story is basically once I talked to a girl successfully and she wasn't appalled
Did
by
they
my
ta-
conversation.
Did
That
they
is
take
what
the piece of gum? Did they even accept the gum that you offered them?
Like
Or
the
they
fact
just
that
say
you
no?
remember this a decade later is remarkable. That you're like, I'll tell you what about one of my best nights ever. She didn't come home with me, but she definitely didn't spit at me.
Not all of us have a Lamborghini. I have an Uber. I do
Or
Uber
a cool
pool.
Australian
Uber
accent.
above ground pool. It's where they pick up large groups of white trash. That's a joke I wrote.
What's going on?
These are
Can you
jokes. I'm
tell me
running
about the
by.
1% Club? Do you know any of those answers? Have you ever figured
Okay,
any
so
of them
the
out?
the 1% Club's a game show that I'm on that I host in Australia, and it's no, I get up to about the last 40%, and then I don't know. It starts off. They're IQ questions, so it starts off with questions that 90% of the population will get. Then 80%. You have 100 contestants, and then you lose 10. You lose 10. You lose 10. And so the people who like in the bottom 10%. Those thickos who can't get real simple stuff, you feel sorry for them. They shouldn't have been on the show to begin with. And because the show's always cast, it always starts off with like some pretty good-looking people. You know, they've rung up different good-looking people who are showing up. And it always ends with the intelligent folks at the end.
People who need brains to get ahead in life.
I had one bloke, and I went, what do you do for a living, mate? He goes, I write mathematical equations for textbooks. And I'm like, I think you'll go far.
Yeah.
Because the questions at the end that are for the 1%, as I'm reading the answer, I read the question, then I read the answer. As I'm reading the answer, most of the time, I still don't understand what's going on. And I have the answer in front of me. And I just go, and the answer would obviously be 476 because the month 4 and the day this and the thing and the thing. And that's the consonant and the vowel, like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just reading.
There
Not
was
with
one
edible
where
weed, too.
like the answer was R. but there was no R in the whole
Yeah,
sequence.
it's where you.
So I was like, how
it's-
did that?
I
How did
don't
that?
know.
How
I don't
do you know how they?
I don't know. We got blokes who write the questions. We got these two guys who just sit.
What do they look like? I'm
Oh,
kind of
they're
very
smart
curious to see what they look
individuals.
like.
They're
Are they
bookish.
cute or
They're
are they?
bookish fellas. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of bookish
They
fellas.
single? I could use a cute.
Yeah.
I could use as an Australian because that's like a triple threat right there.
You
Cute,
wanna-
single, and Australian.
He, well, one of them's nice, but he's gay though, so I don't know if that's gonna help with your
Gina
triple
will take
threat.
it. You'll take it
Not
at this
my
point.
team. No.
No, you
No.
don't. Yeah.
I have a little bit of pride left.
Really? Oh God, you lose that. It's very freeing. You'll feel it once you get rid of pride, your life really turns around.
Great. Good advice.
Like ask Mark. He used to take cigarette packets and not smoke to meet girls.
I would mime it.
And
Still didn't
offered
work.
gum to get
No,
a laugh.
the 1%,
funny.
the 1% Club is. Well, I'm going back in August to film another season of it, and I'll say this: I'm not a natural game show host. I'm so dyslexic that I can only do a show that has 10 questions in it. Because if I had to do anything with a speed round, I'd be fucked. If I had to do a TV show that goes, and the clock will have 60 seconds on it right now. Which racehorse was called? Pass. You know,
I'm the same way. It would take me forever to read the questions.
Oh, when I turn to read the questions, I'm in a panicked mode like this. All right, now it's time for the question. I turn like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like this. And because the
better have it.
question's in front of them as well. It's on a big screen. I'm always like this. All right. There's about 50% of the times the question is, what is the next number in this sequence?
Yeah.
Right? I love those questions. I'm ready to go. But if I turn around and I go, there's a train leaving a station at 4:35 p.m. Jenny has 4 dogs and a this and a that. I'm like this. I turn down, you can audibly hear me go, oh no. I'm terrible.
Please
at
not
that.
again.
Oh
It's
no.
a story.
I can't look. When I'm playing Trivial Pursuit with friends, they don't make me read questions. I'm very I shouldn't be a game show host, but here we
But
are.
it's a great gig.
How'd you come across
Have you watched
it?
the show?
I've watched it online. I watched
It's a
some
bit of
episodes.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit
How
of-
did you come across? Why you?
I just got asked. I've always wanted to be a game show host, and people find that really weird. People call you a sellout when you do things like that, but it's like
Steady money.
it's also it's like have you ever like acted in something and they'll make you like sit like okay, so you watch like I watched Titanic for the other day with my son. I just started it from the moment the boat was sinking.
Oh.
He thinks it's an action movie, and that's an hour and 40. Still, that's enough for a
Wow.
10-year-old.
Titanic of a film.
Yeah, from the moment the iceberg hits is like an hour 40.
Mhm.
And my son was watching that. He got what's going on. Those two are hooking up. This one's not happy about it. There's a diamond involved. You don't need all the preamble. Anyway, so I was watching it and I was thinking to myself, those two must have been in water tanks all fucking day for weeks on end.
And those
Exhausting,
and those
yeah.
heavy
Free- and
outfits,
just-
those clothes.
Well, here's another thing. This is a few days ago. So why was the water, when the water in Titanic came into the boat, was it very manageable?
Right.
Rose is walking through there. He's handcuffed for a while in the water, like this. Rose, you're back. I didn't think you were going to come back. But when the water's outside the boat, they have icicles growing off their eyelashes. How did the temperature change so vastly from the inside? Because the inside water came from the outside.
Yeah. The script
Just-
supervisor drowned.
Now that did he really?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
script supervisor drowned.
Was he reading and not paying attention?
Wasn't up paying attention.
While
Water
making
came
the
through, he's
movie?
Dead. Yeah.
Oh.
The continuity errors in Titanic filmings. The script supervisor drowned on set.
No, I would have heard that. Surely. Did he
I
really die?
never.
Don't fucking Google it. But
What year did that?
Don't
What
Google
year
it.
did that
No,
movie?
it never happened. Yeah, he's fucking. He had me going then.
I thought he was serious too.
I thought he
I
was
was like, how did
serious.
you never hear about that? It's like the woman that got shot. On
you guys got me pumped on acting. That was my acting.
Anyway, what was
You believed-
what was I
we
talking
believed
about
you.
before that? Why did I get stuck in there? Okay,
Australia.
my point is they have to sit in a fucking water tank. You do a game show. Your dressing room's here. The stage is there. You walk over and your lunch is there. For a lazy person, it's a great
Yeah,
gig.
right.
That your suit's hanging for you when you get in the dressing room. You don't even pick it out, probably. Wardrobe.
I enjoy watching game shows,
It's-
so I get
Yeah.
really happy when people
Totally.
win.
It's so
I
exciting.
get super
Did you
invested.
ever cry?
You're good news,
Hey?
Phil.
Did you ever get a tear
No,
for
I don't
somebody?
tear up. I don't tear up, but I'm like, oh, I want you to win. And then when they win, it's very exciting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen people win the big money. It changes their lives. But people don't really know what money does because they're on the show. They're winning 100,000, which is 70,000 American. And I always ask the same question: what will you do if you win the money? And they always come out like this: I'd help my family out. I'd buy a house and I'd get a new car and go on holiday.
Right.
Okay, well, you can do one of these things. And with the house,
All right, choose one.
with the house, that would just be a deposit, and the Australian government's going to take some taxes from you as well. So, you know.
What is that? What is that takeaway for the tax in Australia?
Australian taxes are lower than American taxes. At least California, anyway. Yeah, taxes in Australia are lower, and you get healthcare. Imagine it.
I know.
Imagine it.
I know.
How
That's
long
the problem I have with America. Is it's like, I don't mind paying taxes, but give me something. Give me
Anything.
something.
Help one person with it, please.
No, well, here's the thing. We have the biggest military in the world, right? And Australia doesn't have to pay for the biggest military in the world.
No.
Do you want to know why? Because you're
Why?
our friend.
Thank
And if something happens, you're not going to let us get into any trouble
No.
now, are you, America?
I hope
No,
not.
no.
You're going to...
Need you.
If Australia gets fucked over, you'll go, all right, send some troops down to Australia. You'll help us
100%.
out. We have a military, but not, the size of...
When you Australian, do you ever do like Australian military tours for the Australian military? Are they elsewhere? Or are they just in
Oh,
Australia?
I did. Well, I was living... People did that. I was living in during the war in Afghanistan, I was living in the UK, and I would do tours for the British troops.
Yeah.
So I did a couple of trips to Afghanistan, a couple of trips to Iraq. I did Sarajevo, one of those type of ones that isn't in trouble anymore, but was one of those.
Kosovo.
Ones. Yeah, Kosovo. Yeah. I did. I stayed in bases in Saudi Arabia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful time. But the American comics would always be out there entertaining the American troops, and I'd be out there entertaining the British troops. And so sometimes you would have some very disappointed soldiers, because one time I was there and in one tent Robin Williams was entertaining the Americans.
Wow.
And all the British troops were like, I want to see that. And I'm like, but you got me.
Are we loyal or not?
But I'll tell you what the Brits did. So first of all, the British government paid you, which the American comics didn't get paid. Look. I'm patriotic and I'm American. I believe you should do things that are right and that type of stuff. But they're paying the plumbers that go over there to lay the pipes. They're paying the people who put the infrastructure in. But for some reason, entertainers don't. You get told that it's your duty to do something. But
Right.
I still believe you should do these things. But I'm
Yes.
just saying there is an argument the other way.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I
I've done
never.
8 of 'em.
But what the British government did, Americans, they sent page 3 models. Now, do you know what a page 3 model is?
No.
No.
Okay, on the third page of, it used to be almost all the newspapers, but on newspapers like the Mirror and the Sun and all that type of stuff in Britain, and in Australia this used to be the thing, but there's still newspapers which newspapers still do this, Matt? The Sun. So the Sun, one of the big... Yeah, the Sport definitely does. But there was about 4 or 5 papers on page 3. So when you opened up the newspaper, on the third page, out of nowhere, there was just a topless girl.
Oh.
And she'd be
Yes.
sitting there like that, and she might be wearing like her pants might be like the English football team, and she's like, and it'd be like, Michelle here supports England, come on England, like that, right? Or it'd be like some little thing like, she thinks that Putin shouldn't be in the Ukraine, right? They'd get a little blurb out of it. So on the third page, you'd always get a topless woman. Now, before porn was readily available on the internet, then they have our Nuts magazine and Zoo magazine, that FHM, which wasn't bad. But so there was a whole plethora of girls who were what they call page 3 models. And within the community, they were very famous, and they were in what they call lads magazines. So the British government would pay for these page 3 models who weren't porn stars. Now they'd probably be girls that would be on OnlyFans or something like that.
Right.
They were just topless girls. They never did scenes or anything like that. They would come out with us to Afghanistan and Iraq.
Great.
I'd tell some jokes, then one of them would walk out topless for a bit and wave at the boys.
You're the fluffer.
Yeah, no, then there'd be another comic or a band to close it out. They'd put on a full show. Could you imagine the outrage in America if you said, we're sending a few comics and a porn star to come and wave at our troops? The evangelicals would lose their fucking shit. There wasn't one complaint from the British public spending taxpayers' money
Yeah.
to send it to. In fact, it was applauded in that society.
Why
You've
I
been
wanna
around
move over
longer.
there.
You're a smarter, older society.
No, I'm not me. I'm Australian. You're not keeping up. But I'm
I
one
am,
of
but
the
you're
youngest
talking about the
countries.
British
Oh, the
troops.
British. Oh, yeah, British.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Brits. Yeah, yeah. So they'd send out the girls, and one time I had to go. They would take us to. They'd helicopter us in to different like hospital things, and they'd go. You have to say hello to the troops. So I'd go around literally like Krusty the Clown, and I'd meet soldiers, and I'd be like, "Hey, how are you? You good? Yeah."
I'm here.
You're going home. It looks like you're going home, right? I do a bit of that. One time I showed up with this page 3 girl. It was quite a famous one. She was pin up. A lot of guys had posters of her up in the rooms and all that type of stuff. They said, we haven't got much time. And there was about 40, 50 patients, and the tents were V'd off like that. And they said to me, they go, Jim, you do that side. And they told the girl to do the other side like that. But they'd heard we're coming. You haven't seen a more disappointed amputee than when I walked into the room and it wasn't the page 3 model.
No
Just just the sadness. Like, haven't these people gone through enough?
Yeah, just like read me a book out loud
I lost.
till I fall asleep.
I lost a limb, and I get the guy.
Yeah, no shit. So where are you going on this tour?
I just finished a tour of the UK and Europe, and so now I'm just sort of doing North American gigs. We've got a load of gigs in Canada coming up. I'm doing all the big cities, New York and Chicago and all that type of stuff. In America, I'm sort of hitting them again. I love an Indian casino. If there's an Indian casino, you check, I'll be there. Oh, I love them.
Mohegan
The
Sun.
money or the gig or the what about
They're
it?
just chill places to work, man. And they always like, there's always a restaurant in there. They treat you real nice. Because Indian casinos are always like 50 miles outside the city.
Right.
Is there
Right?
no tax too? Is there no tax in?
Well, I still have to pay tax. They don't have to pay
Cigarettes
tax.
are really cheap.
Yeah, but it's like you're 50 miles out of the city, and they're just so happy that you got like 2,000 people to come to their casino. They're like, thanks for that. That's brilliant. When you're in other casinos that are in cities, they're like, there's this stage over there. And they'll tell you that some other comic did better last week. And you're like,
100%.
all right, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
They tried to fire me from or threaten to fire me from a casino because I brought chicken tenders into the green room, and like you can't bring them in there.
All right, well, let's name and shame. What was the casino that stopped the chicken tenders?
Not gonna do it. Not gonna
I think
do it.
I
All right,
think I
no,
might
no.
have
Still
heard
active,
this.
open, but they said
Well, we'll see if does it rhyme with teasers. The Parage.
I'm not big enough to work at anything that rhymes with teasers. It rhymes.
Oh, Pleasure Island.
It rhymes with the La Cacana.
Yes,
Does that rhyme with?
yes, yes.
And
yes.
just but yeah, they
Yes,
definitely.
Trump Hotel.
Was I there for that?
Yeah, I think.
I think
you're
I
right.
was
When they have
there.
unlimited money, though, they can.
What
fuck with you.
happened? Was he really chicken tendering up? Did he really do something wrong?
I think
No,
he
it's what
did.
happened. No, it's what actually happened.
Yeah, but what were you doing with the chicken tenders? It's
I had
always,
brought them from the employee.
there's no way that
I
the
brought them-
verses
Went to the
when you
EDR,
brought
to the
things in there.
EDR.
You were throwing them around, or you were twirling them above your head, and there
I
was
was
fucking
drinking and
coating.
throwing chicken tenders.
Yeah, you were throwing chicken tenders. No wonder these people got fucked off. You're throwing fucking chicken
He
tenders.
broke into the employee dining room. He grabbed the chicken tenders.
That's what happened.
Oh,
I
did
took
you
them from
do
the
it?
employee
Oh,
dining room
you did it
to
from the
green
dining room. Yeah.
Free
yeah,
chicken
yeah,
tenders.
Yeah. You gotta order them. You gotta wait. You can't be your own waiter.
No.
Where you just walk
For
in and
whatever
take
reason,
chicken.
I don't know why. Yeah, I was assuming they thought they thought that I thought I was the Prince of Persia. You know what I'm saying? And they were mad at me. And they said I could have cost all the employees their ability to eat there.
Just
for
pull
free.
that thread out of me jeans if you want it.
No.
I'll just throw
I
it on
also
the
set the
floor. I
kitchen
didn't
on
think you
fire.
wanted it, but you put out your hand.
Well, I
really.
didn't know what to do.
I was
It's like
gonna
when a
just-
kid,
I was
little
gonna
kid has
just-
something, you're
No
like,
one
give
will
it to me.
find it, but it's like now if I keep pulling on that thread, I'll get a big hole, and I've got another show to do. So now that's all I'm thinking about.
What'd you pull out of your pocket last night when we were at the show?
Not
That
to
looked
be-
like a thread.
Scary moment at the Beach Boy concert. Security threat. Do it.
You're at the Beach Boy concert? When was the
Oh,
Beach Boy concert?
Hollywood Bowl.
last night.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, we'll go next year. Because I guess
the
they're there before
fireworks
the
were
July.
spectacular.
The fireworks were amazing.
The
But was it-
symphony
is it-
played, or
Is
the
it,
orchestra.
well, I can't, I got babies and stuff. 4th of July, I got to spend them with my kids, man.
No,
There's
there's a bunch
kids
of
there.
babies there. There's a bunch of kids
It
there.
was like it's a family
well, how old
event.
are your kids now, though?
10 and 2.
Oh yeah, they're in.
The 10-year-old, for sure. There was a bunch of
10 and 2, like the driving.
yeah, there are a lot of kids. The 2-year-old can't do it by next year. They're like, yeah. But the youngest kid I saw there was probably, what, 7 years old?
There
They
was young
enjoyed it. It's
kids
the fucking
there.
Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 10-year-old, me and my
It's basically
10-year-old go to
pretty much-
concerts.
We had a blast.
Yeah, we go to concerts.
What have you seen?
Well, I took him to his first concert was Paul McCartney in Vegas.
Wow.
And he was 5, and it's good because Paul McCartney's not too old because the old people would get upset, you know what I mean? Not too loud, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he knew, like, Beatles songs just slip into your brain whether you know it or not. Like, there were songs that even a 5-year-old
100%.
just
They're
knew what was
simple. A
going
lot of them
on.
are simple, yeah. Girl, the song Girl.
And then also,
One
but
word.
like even things like just seeing that stage with the lights and everything, and then live and let die, like a 5-year-old, that blows your mind that there's indoor
100%.
fireworks. Like he was losing his shit. But I just thought it was one of those things that it's like you want to see him. Paul McCartney, if he's listening to this podcast, we wanted to see before you were dead, mate. You know what I mean? It's that way. It's like
100%.
there's no way. Like you okay. So I
no
just
waiting.
saw Elton John in his last. I actually saw Elton John's tour a few times, but I saw it in Melbourne. I was out doing the TV show, and we went out to see. It was, a few months ago. Anyway, he's on stage now. We have this guy called Molly Meldrum, who was a VJ, who was like a disc jockey guy
Yeah.
when I was a kid. Very famous guy, wears a cowboy hat, right? And I don't know if this adds to the story, old gay fella, right? But we didn't know he was when we were younger like that. Anyway, it turns out that him and Elton are very good mates, right?
Yeah.
And so no one's seen this guy for like 10 years because he's been out of the limelight. He's 80 something. He's just old, you know what I mean? So he came out, and Elton John goes, Molly Meldrum, ladies and gentlemen. And Molly Meldrum came out, and he was so fucking old. And no one. So that's the problem with being famous is whenever someone meets you, you're at your oldest.
Right.
Well, the problem is the promotional material that gets put out there. You're not at your oldest. So when you see the person in person, you're like, ooh, that doesn't look like the picture.
Well, that's the whole thing. You might have just watched the special, but then when they see you in the thing, you're 10 years older than that. But their brain, it just happened.
Yeah.
And so you're always disappointing. People always look at your face like, fuck, something's gone wrong there.
Yeah, unless you're
Right? It doesn't
Pat
matter.
Sajak.
It happens the whole time. Right? But anyway, so this bloke came out, and we're all like, fucking hell, it's Molly Meldrum. We haven't seen Molly Meldrum in years. And he plays Elton John's "He's a bitch, well the bitch is back on goes in a matter of fact." And Molly Meldrum's got carers who have walked him out, and he's come out, and he's fucking, and he's there, and he's sort of trying to sing, and Elton's playing over the shoulder. They lean over, Elton kisses him on the cheek, he laughs, and then I just saw it this is in front of 80,000 people, Melbourne Cricket Ground, I believe it was that, right? Just an old man who couldn't get cancelled going, fuck it, right? And he just pulls his pants down, and the news was like this, and then he mooned the audience. Not where I was standing, he flopped his dick out, right? So it was just an old bloke who dropped his pants down in his 80s, just like this. Like that. The audience lost their fucking shit. Like he was so
Wow.
old he couldn't really talk, couldn't make a joke, but we've always got that last card. I'll flip me dick out.
My closer.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like what will get this crowd to
wanna
go
find
mental?
that.
Here's my dick. Fucking boom. In a cancelable society, the elderly can't be cancelled. So he's like, and he's
The elderly-
he's fucking
Too old to
What
be
it is.
too
canceled.
old to be cancelled. Oh, that last month before I die, you're going to hear some things out of my mouth. Every nurse that walks in, I'll just be like, nice tits, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Because I'll be dying soon. I don't give a fuck.
Have you seen the judge's gavel? And you just whip it out and pound it on the table.
so he's like, now he's anything. The carers, these two blokes that walked him out are just like,
Here he goes again.
fuck it. Not even again. They're like, we don't know what to do with this bloke. And then Elton was like, ladies and gentlemen, Molly Meldrum. And then Elton goes to play the next song. But Molly Meldrum is so old and frail, he can't bend over to pick up his pants. So now he's just standing in front of 80,000 people. You can Google this. This is Molly Meldrum
going
Elton
to.
John concert. You will see the footage. And he's just standing there with his dick out and his fucking pants. And he's like, oh no. And he can't bend over and get his pants. So he just shuffles off. His carers have given up on him, right? He's just shuffling off with his pants around his ankle and his dick out and his pants. Just an old 80-something-year-old man. shuffling off. Elton doesn't know he's still on stage because he's behind Elton, and Elton's just playing his next song, which incidentally is I'm Still Standing. Right, so he's playing I'm Still Standing as this man in his fucking 80s with his dick shuffle off, and then the next day in the news, oh, Molly's pants accidentally fell down. That was what the
Wow.
press release was.
That's Spin magazine right there. That's a spin.
Man, wardrobe malfunction.
What did it
We haven't
look-
had a
what did it-
wardrobe
what did it look
malfunction in a
like?
while.
Wait,
did it look
Jim's
like?
going on
So-
soon.
Oh.
It's
Well,
10.
the
it's
dick was just
10:05.
a nice old man's dick.
Was it?
Yeah. But his ass, and the footage that you will see will only be
Oh.
the ass because you're going to see the camera shot, the cameras that were on stage, and they filmed him from behind the whole time. But his ass looks like a mudslide. Like, it looks, because that's
Oh.
what old people, it's just falling off. And there's a tattoo of a word that's
Oh.
diagonal that no one knew he had on his ass. It's still open to interpretation, and I've looked at this photo many
Oh,
times.
you're at, okay, so.
Just says
I
help
can't wait to-
me.
can't wait
It's
to see
tattoo
it.
just wants off
But there
his
was
body.
this bloke. Okay, this guy's so famous. They did a mini series of his life, and there's an actor who played him in the mini series, and he got on the news the next day like this. Yeah, what the fuck's happening, Molly? Like, Molly, you're making a fool of yourself.
Oh, no. I
You've
need to
obviously
get-
got a drinking problem. You ruined that moment for Elton John, and it's really uncaught. And you're like, dude,
Elton John doesn't
he's
care.
in his mid-80s and got his dick out. More power to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, fucking, what's going on? You got a drinking problem. By the time I'm in my 80s, I hope to have a heroin problem. So stop fucking telling me about a bloke in his 80s who's abusing substance a bit too much.
Who dropped his
He goes, I try to
pants.
call him. You have to get him in early in the morning because by 11 o'clock he's obliterated. Fucking more power to you, Molly. More
Still
power to
managed
you.
to walk on that stage and walk off, right?
I'm the only reason I'm sober in any way is because I love my kids and I feel like I should live a little bit longer for their benefit.
I
right?
agree.
But as soon as they have like got wives and kids of their own and all that type of stuff, I'm gonna be junkie granddad.
Game on.
Here comes drunky granddad. Hello, kids. I was on the TV. Yeah, I'm
Give me
going
a
for
beer.
it. Yeah, I'm going for it.
Do
I'm
it.
getting fucking wrecked and I'm gonna get cancelable.
It's
I've been
well
talking the
earned.
whole
Can I-
time and
can
you
I
two
know-
have just
No,
been
you've been
sitting
great.
here. I haven't shut up, have I?
That's why you're here. We want.
I feel a lot of
wanna
pressure
hear you.
and then I
No.
keep talking. I don't let you talk.
You have been
How's
incredible.
your day
I
been?
have nothing. I have
We-
nothing to say. You have all the
Do
things.
you have any,
I have a
have
great- I had a
someone
great
flipping
day
their
today.
dick out story that you've got?
No, but somebody did massage me, and I'm pretty sure he took his clothes off while he was massaging me, because I saw him shuffle out of the room and he looked naked
Was-
after the massage was done.
I have to
Oh,
go,
this was an actual masseuse. This just wasn't a bloke in
Yeah,
your
it was
house.
a real masseuse.
I have to go check on Gabe. I haven't even met him yet.
I gotta go do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as well.
you have to go on
Thank you,
stage.
Jim.
Everyone,
Jim
thank you
Jefferies,
for
everyone.
having me. I
Jim
appreciate
Jefferies.
it. Sorry if I talk too much, everyone.
Give them what they want, Tor.
Keep on
JimJefferies.com.
drugs, stay in school.
He's giving them what they want.
What they want.